Key stages of antitrust investigations. Hello, my name is Niamh Christina Gleeson, and today we're diving into one of the most high stakes area of competition law, navigating the key stages of antitrust investigations, from the first rumour of a complaint to the final settlement or decision. And this isn't just theoretical, this is a practical case on practical strategies for compliance and defence. The landscape has shifted dramatically in the past few years. We've seen the Competition and Markets Authority in the UK, the CMA, and the European Commission ramp up enforcement with dawn raids and fines for procedural breaches have become almost routine. So there's a difference between mitigating risk and negotiating penalties. And so what can you expect today? Well, for the next hour, we'll break this down into different actionable stages, how to respond in the moment to an investigation when it's triggered, the complaint or a sector inquiry, the nuts and bolts of interacting with investigators, your rights, obligations, and how to avoid the pitfalls, document disclosure and evidence management. So where, any response can actually trigger a fine, being very careful about how you respond. And then preparing for, meetings, interviews, and critically access to the file. And finally, the settlement, commitments and closure. And lessons from recent cases. So I'll also all the time put in some practical tips and kind of common pitfalls, especially if you're juggling parallel investigations between the EU and the UK. So let's get going with the course aims. So just to give you a rundown of what we're aiming to have at the end of this, before we dive in. So here's what we hope to achieve. By the end of the session, you should be able to walk away with a clear roadmap for responding to authority requests and managing internal processes, without panic. Real-world examples from recent case law, so you can see how these principles apply in practice, and an understanding of the consequences of what has happened in the past, certainly when people have got it wrong in responding to a request for information. So it's not just about looking at the law and the regulations, but also about what the authorities have done in practice. So what to do when the CMA or the Commission knocks on your door. So literally or figuratively. And now on antitrust investigations, key trends. So set the scene for, with the current enforcement climate. The European Commission and the CMA are more aggressive than ever, not just in pursuing cartels or abusive dominance, but in how they investigate.